The legislation that I am about to sign provides for a restitution payment to each of the 60,000 survivors, surviving Japanese Americans, of the 120,000 who were relocated or detained. Yet no payment can make up for those lost years. So what is most important in this bill has less to do with property than with honor. For here we admit a wrong. Here we reaffirm our commitment as a nation to equal justice under the law. I'd like to note that the bill I'm about to sign also provides funds for members of the Aleut community who were evacuated from the Aleutian and Pribilof Islands after a Japanese attack in 1942. This action was taken for the Aleut's own protection, but property was lost or damaged that has never been replaced.
Do you know that we owe Ukrainians reparations for building and defending this nation? Oh, my bad. I meant to say Black Americans. Notice how there was not one study, not one hearing needed before sending billions of dollars to Ukrainians, nor any other group. Yet, when the topic of reparations for descendants of American slaves is mentioned, we get told a motley of excuses. And I know some of you want to blame the Republicans, but it is for the Democrats that Black Americans vote 85 to 95%. And the Democrats have been complicit in their neglect of Black Americans as well. Maybe it's time we elect politicians that are actually going to fight for us. Maybe it's time we do something different, something better. Join me in getting us not just better, but the best. Join me in this fight. Thank you.
Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us.
tick faster. That'll be the hour they knock the slick blaster. Tick dastardly, a monthly with sick laughter. A gunfight and they come to cut the mix master ice. And living the true gods, giving y'all nothing but the lick like two broads. Got more lyrics than the church got ooh lords. And they hold the mic at your attention like two swords. Or you the one with two blades on it. Hey you, don't touch the mic like it's AIDS on it.
All right, let me get that off the screen, family. All right, welcome. Like I am a little in the dark. I am not. All right, welcome once again to the beatzillapdx official show. I am your host, beatzillapdx officially, and this is the weekly wrap up. And not necessarily a long one, but we will be getting to it. So hopefully everybody is doing well this evening. Got just a few things to talk about. As you see, Fairytale Feminism. And that's something I think that pops up more often than not. And the realistic, viewpoints on how a man may kind of look and put categories of what he sees as the difference between a date and a mate. So with that being said, also have to talk about Chicago and what's going on there with some recent protests. They're dealing with the after effects of all of the over flooding of our borders in Chicago. Excuse me. You have a lot of those newly flooded into and bombarding black neighborhoods with these people. Now they're complaining. And now also they're asking for something which is very interesting, because we're always told immigrants built this country, which is simply not true. Slaves did. However, there's also this skilled labor conversation. And then, we're going to get into that as well. And we also, that's primarily what I want to talk about. Also, the NAACP. The NAACP actually, they're trying to make, I guess, some kind of noise or find some reaching for relevance. So they're pushing back on the affirmative action part. And so now what they're doing is going after the generational, basically that favoritism that goes along there. So I can't remember the terminology at the moment. It escapes my mind, but we will get to that in a minute as well. So with that being said, please like and share as you are coming in. Like and share this broadcast, family, please. And if you have not already subscribed to this channel, you should do it right now. If you get a chance, just go ahead and hit subscribe. That way you will be able to interact with everybody in the chat. And then if you want to become a member, you can also do so as well. But also make sure to hit that notification bell. That way, and hit the word all. Because anytime this channel goes live or a video is uploaded, you should be notified. I'll say it like that. You should be notified. So let's do how we do. And let's get started here. So let's see who we have in the chat. We have our sister, Key Prince, in the building. Welcome, my sister and member. Key Prince in the building. Also, Judah Queen, my moderator, and member as well. Salute, salute, salute. Black First fam, please like and share this broadcast. As well as my other moderator, dark-skinned brother and member in the house. Dark-skinned brother is in the house. Shalom, beatzilla, my warrior brothers. Peace and blessings to you, my brother. We have our good sister and our moderator, Oyela Akad. Well, it's Oyela's Cadence now. So, yeah, Oyela's Cadence. Let me get that right. Greetings, greetings. We are officially international. Reginald Jeter in the house. Black First fam. What is going on? Yeah. All right. We have our sister, Patricia Slade in the house. Jersey City in the building. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. All right. Got our brother, Maxwell Jenkins in the house. Shout out to you, Maxwell Jenkins. Yes, D. Rhonda Smith, happy Friday. Yes, indeed. Oh, and it's referred to as Legacy Admissions. Thank you so much, Rhonda Smith coming through. Miss D at Suite 201. Hey, hey, Beatzilla. Shout out to you, my sister. Welcome, welcome. And let's see. All right. We got Sidonian Snow in the house. Black First family. What's going on? And we got our sister Miriam in the house. What is going on, Sister Miriam? Good to see you in the house. And we got our sister Tasha Peters in the house. Good evening, Tasha Peters. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, like I said, I guess first let's go to Chicago. Yeah, let's go to Chicago first. Let me get this in here. Because, you know, it's a trip to watch. It's a trip to watch how people will invade the border, you know, and then start getting here and feeling entitled. And so, like I said, now, granted, there's been some, you know, things gone awry in the Chicago Police Department. I mean, not to mention, you put these people or who so-called vulnerable invaders in a vulnerable position by having to be around one of the, some people say, one of the most corrupt police departments or, you know, political systems in America. You know, it's been said at one particular time or another in Chicago history, you know, some corrupt police, but we have that a little bit of everywhere because that is just simply police culture. Now, with that being said, you know, there's been some allegations that done took place out there in Chicago. And this is very interesting because I just can't help but notice all of the build-up and noise that's going on with Chicago. But now it's turning, there's no talk about violence now. Everything is about migrants, aka invaders. Notice how you're hearing, when it comes down to Chicago, you're not hearing a bunch of, what about Chicagoism? They're not really bringing that up right now because it's all about them migrants. Notice how they can just change on a dime and what's important and what's not. So this first little piece, and first off, let me show you these videos first because I got to set this up. Here they are protesting in, I guess, City Hall or the police station, I think. It's either City Hall or police station in Chicago. But just, I'm going to play these two clips real quick.
De 3 meses en un refugio donde sufrimos el terrorismo, la discriminación. Necesitamos ayuda para los niños en el tema de la salud. Hay muchos niños enfermos, hay mucha basura, hay mucha agua podrida en el refugio. Estamos mal, por eso estamos aquí ahora. dándole la cara a usted, señor alcalde, pidiéndole de su ayuda, de verdad, porque la necesitamos como personas, como seres humanos, como migrantes de Venezuela. Gracias.
Okay, that's the first one. And then this is the
Estamos
second.
en la lucha, alcalde, escucha, estamos 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 en la lucha.
Very interesting. Now, they always have told us about this skilled labor, that jobs that black people don't want to do. Maxwell Jenkins just became a member. Salute to Maxwell Jenkins. Salute to you, brother. Peace, power, blessings, and protection be upon you and yours, brother. Yes, sir. Welcome to the B1 Warrior Squad. All right, Rose City in the house. What's going on, brother? What is going on? Peace, blessings, and power to the family. Black women stand up. Peace, Black first family. And peace, power, blessings, and protection be upon you and yours too. Black women stand up. Happy Friday. Yes, 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 yes. Oh, dark-skinned brother said he hit the thumbs down by mistake. Man, it's all right. Black women stand up. Yes. Yes, they are. Over there demanding money, demanding training, demanding housing. Oh, and get this, demanding clean water. Demanding clean water, like your neighbors over there in Flint, Michigan. You know, your neighbors that not too far away. Lois Hub in the house checking in. Welcome, 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 sister. Welcome. Yeah, them folks, they don't belong here. So with all this skilled work and labor that they be putting on us, man, you guys just lazy and you don't want to do this and you don't want to do that. How true is that though? Because you got these people coming here that are just willing to undercut anyone. That right there, that's the whole point of actually, Jackson, Mississippi, absolutely. Jackson, Mississippi, right, Judah Queen. Yeah, man, Rose City said, yeah, the audacity of these damn criminals, because that's what they are. And I mean, you know, I'm just keeping it a buck because you didn't come here the right way. You came and put a strain on an already strained situation. I mean, think of what we're talking about. Everything was on lockdown, and as soon as Joe Biden got into office, the borders have been flooded. It wouldn't matter if these people were jabbed up or not. Or it's almost as if maybe they were preparing people for something. Again, just go with me here. With this influx of individuals here, what's the other flip side of that you're seeing right now? You're seeing a humongous rise in opioid use, fentanyl use, and overdoses. You can go through any major city right now and go down a block and you will see somebody probably with a foil and straw and a lighter in their hand. Not really giving a crap about doing drugs in the open. Because you most definitely could see that in this city. They just don't look like us for the most part, but I'm just saying. Afro Troop TV. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Like number 25. That is what's going on. Federal criminals. That's a fact. And you know, that's a whole nother thing. Well, oh man, human trafficking. What the heck what are you calling this? And then they're the baggage. And then complaining about housing. How many folks in Chicago need housing right now? You all done seen our brother Afro Elite out there going to these different meetings out there in Chicago. You see our brother Tyrone Muhammad out there and other black folks, foundational Black American family out there saying, hey, what's up with us? We've been trying to get this fixed, things for our children and all of this and that, and things for the elderly and this and that and so forth. No movement. But you got these people that you're trying to sit up here and, I guess, fit a political agenda and narrative. You're allowing these people to come over here illegally and invade these folks' spaces, and then trying to, as we are coming into, I guess, as they like to say, woke and all of this, as they falsely use these words, as we're coming into more collective consciousness, you can't do anything with your own because, truth be told, we had a whole heroin epidemic, we had a whole crack epidemic, and then meth swung in, opioids went on the loose. I mean, the worst that black folks was really doing was lean, liquid heroin. For those who don't want to believe it, yeah, you're doing liquid heroin, you sipping that bullshit. That's what you're doing. But again, we didn't have these major, like big, like Amsterdams all over America. Maybe in concentrated areas and whatnot, but not like that. But now, please, man, you roll down the streets, you see it looked like The Walking Dead. You feel me? It looked like The Walking Dead. You around a bunch of zombies. And you go down the street, just, and you see the videos, people just drive by, you just see people just. Why do you think they want you like that? But then they're also bringing all of these new people in, especially these Ukrainians. Let's get to our brother's question. I mean, I'm telling you, pay attention, because it's happening for a reason. It ain't by accident. Rose City says, question: how many people died during the pandemic? And how many illegals has Biden allowed here? Kind of makes you think, huh? I hope y'all paying attention. Don't that question kind of put things in perspective? I'm just saying. You know? Miriam said exactly, brother, all about the immigrants, not about Black Negro amid the Black Americans that were there, no major. I mean, you know, what it is like I say, contingency plans. So in case of a Negro uprising, do A, and then if that fails, then do B, and if that fails, do C. You know, you got to understand, they got this covered all the way to Z. So we just have to be ready for what plan comes next. And so this is one of them that's kind of right in your face. And then, but here's the kicker. They always talk about that great replacement theory, but before it was applied to us. Now it's getting loosely applied to the immigrants. But you don't really hear a lot of the supremacist sector really talking greasy about immigrants. So it's like they're trying to artificially keep that conversation alive. So when it has use, because truth be told, if you really looked at it, it's like, well, that conversation has died. Almost like getting HR 40 pass died the first of this year. And they spent this entire year ignoring telling you that. That's amazing. They just start, and remember, we told you at the beginning of the year, watch how they just fade away and you start hearing no one mention HR 40. They ain't gonna tell you why though. I told you all that at the beginning of the year. Watch how they play this. And they did exactly what I told you they was going to do. Tia to you in the building. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Tia to you. Like, share, and subscribe, family. Listen to our good sister and moderator, Tia to you in the building. You probably have seen her in other chats. Holding it down on moderator duty. Boy, I'm telling you, we are hitting a heat wave here, and my allergies is a beast. So I've been trying to stay as hydrated as I possibly can. Truth be told, this is like, damn, this is like my fourth one of these today. I think 4 or 5. And as soon as I start talking, my voice immediately gets dry. Boy, this is a beast. Well, there's 2 shall pass. Anyway. Mrs. Miriam, you a nut. Yeah, a dark-skinned brother. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. They're not, like I said in the beginning of the year, they're just going to let this story just quietly fade away. And they knew it did because I read the article on this broadcast. Like, yo, they're not going to tell you this, but they're going to still try to keep throwing it out as a talking point. But notice, this is when you'll notice that everybody was on code. Everybody just simultaneously agreed to never mention HR 40 again. After Easter, you needed a few tragedies to take place, a few mass casualty situations, and Juneteenth comes and yeah, no HR 40. Carolyn Bryant dies, no HR 40. Now you have Kamala Harris running around here talking about pride is patriotism. And then she's about to speak in front of the NAACP. Whew. Anyway, in the Mix Radio. Welcome, 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 welcome. So back to this Chicago immigrant situation. Asylum seekers denounce treatment at Pilsen Shelter and deliver letter to Mayor Alderman denies allegations. It took a lot for Maura Falcon, an asylum seeker and mother. Oh, an asylum seeker and mother. So an invader and mother to speak up about the mistreatment concerns that she says she has been experiencing at the makeshift shelter where she has been living since arriving in Chicago from Venezuela. That's not an asylum seeker, that's an invader. Venezuela is not a bordering country to America. So they had to pass through other countries to get to America. And you know what's so funny about this? Or so odd and weird? Well, it's not. Mexico won't let them stay. As much people be like, Mexicans coming over here and all this. Mexicans like, oh no, y'all not staying here? You get the boot out of Mexico real quick. Ain't that funny? Like Mexicans don't let a bunch of people just invade their territory. They get them people up out of their area lickety split. The Mexicans do not play. Lady Effa in the house. Yes, indeed. She can always go back home. Thank you. Thank you. I mean, come on. Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. Initially, she said she was just grateful to have a place to sleep and warm food. But 3 months later, things have changed. At the volunteer-run shelter in Pilsen, invaders were promised safety and help to settle in the city in early May. But efforts stagnated as the shelter is troubled, says one of the invaders living there. On Wednesday morning, Falcon and a group of mostly migrant mothers went to City Hall and attempted to deliver a handwritten letter to Mayor Brandon Johnson, in which they detailed their concerns and living conditions. Those included prohibiting children from drinking bottled water and eating fresh food donations, forcing invaders, including a family, out of the shelter without a place to go after alleged rules violations, and failing to provide guidance to find permanent housing. Quote, but many are scared to speak because we have nowhere else to go. Wrong. That's wrong, ma'am. Yeah, you do have somewhere else to go. And that is called home. I mean, just overflood this border because all you are worried about is your opportunity. We got that. I get that. But, at some point, we have to understand what benefits an American citizen. Let's see. El Lomicio que Allah open. Oh, I guess they quoted it in Spanish as well. She added, explaining that she feels oppressed. She added, explaining that she feels depressed like she did in her native country of Venezuela. Well, man, the answers are shaping up right before your very eyes, ma'am. Where if she spoke up, she could end up in jail. Well, here, you're actually a criminal. Maybe you should go and take your chances because you got all this freedom being a criminal. I'm just saying. Y'all know what I'm saying. The allegations of mistreatment from volunteers in Pilsen shelter are just the latest in complaints by invaders and their advocates who have spoke about inhumane living conditions at some of the city-run shelters. Most recently, the Chicago Police Department is investigating allegations of sexual misconduct by at least one of the officers involved in the invaders housed at the West Side Police Station. The Pilsen shelter is overseen by Alderman Byron Sigcho Lopez, 25th, who said the complaints are misleading and that the invaders choosing to vocalize their concerns have been galvanized by politically motivated individuals who are using the invaders' vulnerability for self-gain. The group of mothers has shared concerns in the past and were guided to City Hall by Juan Aguirre, a former volunteer who was banned from the shelter for inappropriate behavior. He was banned from the shelter for inappropriate behavior, and you're bringing that up if that's like some kind of burn on the shelter. Might have wanted to explain that. I mean, oh, okay, y'all riding for that, huh? Okay. In the letter, the residents of the shelter had also denounced staff members who they say often threaten them with being forced out if they speak up, and use defensive and aggressive behavior. I'm sorry. Maybe I shouldn't be laughing. I'm sorry. I don't know. I mean, it should not be funny to me. I'm sorry. Y'all gonna have to forgive me. Whew. I mean, it's just amazing to me. Like, you're complaining about a place where you don't have to be. So I mean, yeah, y'all just gonna have to forgive me if I find that just tickles me. Take your ass home. Who's keeping you here? Oh man, so you wanted to be treated like them. I mean, y'all are getting the understanding of the tone of their issue, right? They are upset that they ain't getting treated like them. Yeah. Can always go back home. That's right, Sister Mary. Good grief. The entitlement is off the charts. Man, they like what is it, Alicia Silverstone character in Clueless, like the early, before she got some sense. See, like the earlier version, because their entitlement level is on that level. Rolling with the homies, invading Chicago. Oh, Lord. Oh, let's see. We're in a meeting more late. Okay. In a meeting with Moya in late May, several migrants raised concerns about their future at the shelter and mistreatment from some of the volunteers. Volunteers, they're not even paid. At the time, Moya told the group that those volunteers would be removed and also reassured them that Sigcho Lopez's office was working to connect them to services available. Falcon said that at the time, the group remained hopeful, but recently turmoil escalated once again when several altercations took place between volunteers and invaders. After invaders were told that they had to leave the shelter after violating rules and a domestic argument, according to testimonies from the invaders, video, and the documentation obtained by the Tribune. The altercation, often involving yelling, are traumatic for the children, Falcon said. Francesca was given a notice of relocation for, quote, failure to uphold the fundamental rules of the shelter, according to the document she was provided. The document listed Betancourt's, that's her last name, Betancourt's violation, including violation curfew, I guess that's supposed to be violation of curfew, several times, and substance use outside the shelter at night. But Betancourt said she has children and does not agree that her behavior merits her removal from the space. We are thankful to have the space and for all the help, but the way we are being treated is not fair, Betancourt said. You are a criminal trespasser in this country, and how they treat y'all is not fair. So not only are you complaining about not being treated right and not being treated fairly, but add insult to injury, then you also turn around and asking for citizens' money and citizens' funding and citizens' housing. Woo-wee. Kid Gravity be on in the house. What's going on, my brother? What is going on, man? Yes, sir. Salute to our brother Kid Gravity be on. So with that being said, I'm glad that the NAACP has decided to jump on the bandwagon of at least doing something, but they need to get over here and deal with these people, because this is a problem. This is entitlement of you know. And here's the other thing: we got the Black and Brown POC coalition that all of a sudden is really trying to rehash the POC line. So yeah, we'll keep an eye out for that. I think that's about all I need for that. Yeah. Okay. So yes. So major entitlement. And again, let me play those videos again. Like, look at their signs.
Estamos en la lucha, alcalde, escucha, 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 estamos en la lucha.
Shameful. Now, and they'll tell you that they entitled. And then they'll be turning around like some of these other groups and telling us, oh, well, man, you know, we ain't never got no handout. Now people picking on us. Man, if y'all did not see the first video that I played at the beginning, well, let me play it now.
The legislation that I am about to sign provides for a restitution payment to each of the 60,000 survivors, surviving Japanese Americans, of the 120,000 who were relocated or detained. Yet no payment can make up for those lost years. So what is most important in this bill has less to do with property than with honor. For here we admit a wrong. Here we reaffirm our commitment as a nation to equal justice under the law. I'd like to note that the bill I'm about to sign also provides funds for members of the Aleut community who were evacuated from the Aleutian and Pribilof Islands after a Japanese attack in 1942. This action was taken for the Aleut's own protection, but property was lost or damaged that has never been replaced.
So you see how they get their love, right? And no problem there for them to get theirs. It make all the sense in the world to apologize. And oh man, you guys just need to get over it. Oh my God. Oh Lord. Ricky 12, welcome. Lord. Now here, okay, so that's Ronald Reagan. He could understand that they deserve reparations. I don't know how people don't understand we shouldn't. Now, the NAACP, again, things play in perfectly. Sometimes I guess they just need to. So in this case, it works out. So check this out. I mean, because this is almost a softball, and I think we're seeing a lot of political theater. So just I'll preface this with saying I think we are seeing a lot of political theater playing out.
Arizona.
Well, Mr. Chairman, though that was unbelievably inspiring, my amendment has nothing to do with whether or not colored people or black people or anybody can serve, okay? It has nothing to do with color of your skin, any of that stuff. What we want to what we want to preserve and maintain is the fact that our military does not become a social experiment. We want the best of the best. We want to have standards that guide who's in what unit, what they do. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, the Russians, the Chinese, the Iranians, the North Koreans, they are not doing this because they want the strongest military possible. I hope my colleagues on the other side can understand what we're doing. Thank you so much.
Mr. Speaker, asking to be recognized to have the words colored people.
For what purposes does the gentlelady seek recognition?
I'd like to be recognized to have the words colored people stricken from the record. I find it offensive and very inappropriate.
Is the gentlelady asking for unanimous consent to take down the words?
I am asking for unanimous consent to take down the words of referring to me or any of my colleagues as colored people.
For what purposes does the gentleman from Arizona?
Can I amend my comments to people of color?
The gentleman wishes to amend his comments. Is the gentleman asking consent?
Mr. Speaker, to have the word stricken. I didn't ask for an amendment.
Is there unanimous consent to have the word stricken? Without objection, so ordered.
Colored people. So that's drawn some attention, needless to say. And looking at all these suspected white supremacists out there online today, obviously they felt that they needed to chime in. They're real upset today. I mean, it's really funny. Like, hey, you guys don't want to be called colored. You should change the word. No one in America calls black folks colored. And all of that, well, my colored friends, if you don't stop. I'll play a little bit of that again.
Arizona.
Check that out.
Well, Mr. Chairman, though, that was unbelievably inspiring. My amendment has nothing to do with whether or not colored people or black people or anybody can serve, okay? It has.
And you know, it's so funny though, because some people be like, oh, Joyce Beatty, she stood up and said something. Well, something that he did do in that moment was made a distinction between foundational Black Americans and everybody else. Because there's no other group. Half of the Congressional Black Caucus don't qualify as colored. They ain't got no lineage here. They're not a Negro. So I mean, it's kind of slick. So I mean, if you notice, I want that word stricken. Okay, well, what do you want stricken? Because you want colored stricken? Like colored's a word. So I mean, the way he played it is, and just pay attention to how it made her jump though. And I'm sure everybody's like, hey, well, ain't nobody gonna call me colored. Okay. Do you really believe that's why she jumped up? You think, Joyce, that Beatty is so protective of black folks that she would jump up and care? No. Your fault for using people of color. And you're right. And that's where all of the kid gravity, that's where all of the like suspected white supremacists are going with it. Well, you say people of color, then you should change the term. I mean, it's a pigeonhole. But hey, one thing we can say is we foundational Black Americans. And that, I mean, that just puts a cap on everything. But, you know, it's funny. People of color. It's offensive, yes. People of color is offensive, and you should be offended. You're not of color. What are you, a rainbow? And never forget, I played this the other day, but just real quick.
The military to fight for this country, to protect this country. That's what it's all about.
But just to be clear, you agree that white nationalists should not be serving in the U.S. military. Is that what you're saying?
If people think that a white nationalist is a racist, I agree with that. I agree they should.
A white nationalist is someone who believes that the white race is superior to other races.
Well, that's some people's opinion. And I don't think,
That's
I mean,
not
a lot.
opinion.
Pardon?
What's your opinion?
My opinion of a white nationalist, if somebody wants to call him white nationalist, to me is an American. It's an American. Now, if that white nationalist is a racist, I'm totally against anything that they want to do because I am 110% against racism. But I want somebody that's in our military, that's strong, that believes in this country, that's an American, that will fight along anybody, whether it's a man or woman, black or white, red, it doesn't make any difference. And so I'm totally against identity politics. I think it's ruining this country, and I think that Democrats ought to be ashamed for how they're doing this because it's dividing this country and it's making this country weaker every day.
But that's not identity politics.
Okay. And that's not identity politics. I just wanted to play a little bit of that. And so now you're seeing what type of element we're dealing out here in the political element and the political scheme. So check this out. This is off of Twitter. And so these are the people who are pushing back from the NAACP side of the game. They are pushing back on the legacy admissions thing. So if black folks can't get their affirmative action, not that we were really able to use it because that was going to immigrants, well, and notice again, you're hearing a lot of black and brown and people of color and black and brown. Yeah. Watch that. But check this out.
As we said, civil rights groups, to include the NAACP, are putting their focus on legacy admissions after the Supreme Court banned the use of race-conscious admissions practices. What are your chief concerns?
Well, I want to make sure that students have fair access to higher education and to opportunities. And if the program to repair the harm that was done by institutions and this government for centuries called affirmative action has now come under attack and are being abolished, we need to do away with all preferential programs such as legacy programs. It was reported that Harvard, for example, 43% of white students were there on some type of legacy admittance. That's not fair to the rest of the population, and we want to make sure there is a level of equity in this process.
On that point, college presidents have said that the practice helps build special connections with families and donors, some that extend for generations. It's an important tool for fundraising, and that as enrollment has become more diverse, there are black families that benefit from legacy admissions.
Stop it. No, they're not.
We thought that the program to address the systemic issues of racism called affirmative action was a good step in the right way. We thought it allowed for a more diverse student body, that it allowed individuals who otherwise would not have an opportunity to sit in as prestigious institutions because they were qualified and not being barred from attending as part of their family genealogy. So here we are at this impasse where we're going to say that all students are admitted based on qualification. Let that be the case, and let's not let any program give one community a leg up over another community.
The NAACP, as you well know, is calling on colleges and universities to adopt this diversity no matter what pledge. Other than ending legacy admissions, what else do you want colleges and universities to do?
Well, there should be an diversity standards. How an individual based on their zip code should not be a condemnation of their future. Far too many kids, black, white, and others, grow up in communities where the resources are lacking, the tax condemnation of their future. Far too many kids, black, white, and others, grow up condemnation of their future. Far too many kids, black, white, and others, grow up in communities where the resources are lacking, the tax base is not strong, the system of education is less than desirable. And as a result, those students are overcoming those adversities and finding themselves in the midst of being able to compete at the highest level. There should be a standard to admit those individuals. We should also make sure that if we don't want preferential treatments, that preferential treatments isn't provided to anybody, or we at least need to account for intentional acts of discrimination in a way in which we can repair past harms.
After the court ruling, President Biden said that he asked.
Wasn't that reparations, brother? Is that not reparations? But that's not going to be for black and white. That's definitely not the case. Reparations is not a diversity issue. So let's not start ushering trying to side hustle some talk in there for reparations, and without even mentioning reparations, but talking about past harms. But no. Real slick though, dude.
Ask the education department to study what practices help build a more inclusive student body and what practices stand in the way of that. Do you expect the White House to get involved in a significant way here?
Well, I will hope they will get involved, but let's be clear. We have a Supreme Court that is now a rogue Supreme Court, perhaps one of the most corrupt Supreme Courts we've had in the.
No. And as a black person, especially representing the NAACP, that should not be anything coming out of your mouth. With all of the things against black folks that this Supreme Court has let go. What are you talking about? Oh, boy. You get these people in here, boy, and they'll start spinning. See, here's another problem with some of these people, because they're trying to use black people to rewrite history as well. And so, yeah, they throw little things like that out there that are just simply not true. But they put him out there and you like, oh, well, he's a reputable dude. He's with the NAACP. So for the younger generation, probably looking up and aspiring to even do something, getting the job programs or whatnot, because these boule organizations tend to hold the keys and the scholarships. So again, he has access to placing those little lies into the next generation, and that's dangerous.
History of the court. We've had a tendency of conservatives seeking ways to undermine the gains that were made over the last 60 years. And there's a clear effort to ensure a permanent underclass and to maintain the system of white supremacy. That's what we should be talking about. That is what.
True. But with that being said, who is the permanent underclass? Because you mentioned black and white. So who's that permanent underclass that you would be referring to, brother? Is that a classism thing? Oh, it's not about race, it's about class. No thanks.
To be addressed, and that's in the best interest of this nation.
Wow. Wow. That's all I can really say. Wow. Well, you know, I guess better late than never to try to resurrect something among the people, even if it's meaningless. And it's so meaningless. Like, there's a story. And I guess before I get, why is that story? Hold on. Okay, this story here from the Independent News. Here's the headline. Matter of fact, let me share this headline. Right. What y'all think about that? What you think this article is going to talk about? It's okay for black people to start taking things from white people. Or is it okay? Is it okay for black people to start taking things from white people? Twitter users disagree. Look at the signs though. Hatred is virus. Now look at the title of the picture. Y'all see that? Black people. Can you even make out a face of one color? I see a random hand. And not only that, I see Asians back there. That's not no black people. Those are Asians. Them is Asian people. You look at this woman's eyes right here. There's no black over there. This hand is clearly not melanated. Just notice some of these eyes back here. I mean, black people? No. So you could already tell this is going off the rails right off the rip. The woke agenda against white people is boiling down to a particular ridiculous statement. Now, the woke agenda against white people? What does that even mean? See, this almost is when Tommy Tuberville says stupid things like what he just did, it almost makes you think, okay, well, you're one of those people that he must be conferring with online or something. I mean, because this is a very interesting line that you're rolling with here. Phantom beat in the house. What's going on? What's going on? Man, that was a whole, Marion said that was a whole lie. Now you got all of these blue long, right? Blue Lane coons and tethers, so-called legacy students that doesn't have anything to do with foundational Black Americans. Clown, our reparations, you don't speak for us. You know, and that's it. You know, I want to represent, I represent all Black people, but you don't though. Not only that, to actually do that would mean that you actually rock with us. And so many of these people that say that, oh, I represent all Black people, you don't rock with us. So let's cut that out. Let's see. It goes on to say, it appears that another liberal agenda is now to accept Black people and other minorities to start taking things from white people. However, for obvious reasons, that vast majority of Twitter users, regardless of race, are Vietnamese, that's how you know what I'm saying, disagreeing. They're angrily disagreeing with this rhetoric. This particular opinion piece is on Yahoo News. Oh, okay. Well, let's not be shocked there. Ironically, Yahoo has a white man as their CEO, according to Yahoo. To summarize, the opinion piece claims that white people have taken things from Black people. However, this piece states that it is time for Black people to start taking things from them as reparations. See, wait a minute. See how he frames it? That's not what reparations is. Reparations is a government situation, not taking things from white people. Furthermore, there are several claims that the poorest white neighborhoods have better funding for their schools than wealthy Black neighborhoods. the author suggests that we should ban white Santa Claus and the police officers as well. Well, I'm not totally against the whole Santa Claus idea. Ban that all you need to. And so, yeah, this just, he's one of those fancy trolls and they're giving him to shine. Because that's the In Wokeness page. Okay, now I get it. In Wokeness states that the woke media is no longer hiding this narrative. Furthermore, a Twitter user comments sarcastically stating that the success of an individual today is solely on treatment of their ancestors 150 years ago. The user then states that because of the problems that their ancestors had decades ago, they now need the government. Wait. Because of the problems that their ancestors had decades ago, now they need the government to guarantee their success? Like the Homestead Act? I mean, boy, I'll tell you what. Yeah. Now that's all I'll read of that. Don't have to spend much time on that BS at all. Vietnamese. He's stupid. Blueberry Muffin in the house. Blueberry Muffin in the house. Welcome. All right. He said Asian Santa Claus does exist. In that mall down there where Jollibee's is at, I'm sure they got an Asian Santa Claus. Yeah, don't act like, oh, we didn't come here, man. You getting all kind of help. You didn't come up by yourself. They allowed you to do that. Miss me. I mean, you talk about the one group of folks that ain't rocking their boat. That's it. They ain't rocking no boat. All right, so we done got through NAACP. We done hit Chicago. Now we got to have the conversation about old Lori Harvey. And, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, man, I can't really say I've seen the response split. It's been one person said, oh, you sound like a hater. For just pointing out something. I'm just pointing out something that probably, you know, you might want to examine. But, you know, coming from me, I guess that just is not fitting enough. Oh, well. That's fine. So first, let me play you a little clip.
Just remember that you're the prize always.
Say that one more time.
Just remember that you are the prize.
Yes.
And if you didn't hear what she said in her little, this is her moniker now.
Just remember that you're the prize always.
Say that one more time.
Just remember that you are the prize.
Yes.
That's like his golden slogan for me.
Yeah. And what does that mean for you in relationships when you're like, I'm the prize? What does that mean?
It just means not compromising like my values, my happiness, my peace, not settling for less than what I know I deserve, and not being afraid to walk away from a situation if it's like no longer serving me.
Happy Friday, family. This is the weekly wrap up.
Tick faster. That'll be the hour they knock the slick blaster. Dick dastardly, a Muttley with sick laughter. A gunfight and they come to cut the mix master. And living the true gods. Giving y'all nothing but the lick like two broads. Got more lyrics than the church got ooh lords. And they hold the mic at your attention like two swords. Or you the one with two blades on it. Hey you, don't touch the mic like it's AIDS on it.
So let's dissect that little piece right there, if you don't mind. Let's go bring that back up.
One more time. Just remember that you are the prize.
Yes.
That's like his golden slogan for me.
Yeah. And what does that mean for you?
So this is a Steve Harvey slogan for her. You are the prize. Just remember. But this is the dude that also brought you Think Like a Man. And then while his own relationships is falling apart, he's writing you relationship building books. And then, I mean, for those of you who don't know, Lori Harvey's not his daughter. He adopted her. See, that whole other thing talking about black folks, man, black men be resenting these kids. You hear this also from other people that say that if you're taking on, because it does look strange for somebody of that age marrying a older individual and then saying, I feel obligated to adopt your children who are almost either, if not grown, almost grown. And see, here, I look at this whole situation completely different. This is business. And a lot of people are like, oh, yes, yeah. No. Stop falling for the con. That's how you got Carter. How many of y'all actually tried that, was it 90-day rule crap? How many of y'all actually did that? Y'all read that book, thought Steve Harvey knew what the hell he was talking about, and then said, I'm going to make you win. Here's the thing. You know, this woman was just recently seen with Quavo, as recent as today. Now, y'all done seen her with how many different men within the past year? So I'm going to ask the question, like I asked on Twitter. How are you going to be the prize with so many men? Multiple men, you're the prize of all of them? That's like saying every time a person bought the same car, it was brand new. I mean, it's a harsh reality, but it's true. And then somebody will say, well, you know, she's right, though, because no, she's not. Because listen to what she says.
You in relationships when you're like, I'm the prize, what does that mean?
It just means not compromising like my values, my happiness, my peace, not settling for less than what I know I deserve, and not.
Do y'all understand y'all are out here endorsing bold-faced narcissism? Yes, girl. Yes, girl. Y'all better take a good look in the mirror. Y'all better eat this one. For all of y'all that's out there saying, oh, yeah, I totally understand what she's saying. You are co-signing A1 narcissism. Now, let me go back again and replay what you can, because you co-signing this. So let's hear it again.
Not settling for less than what I know I deserve, and not being afraid to walk away from a situation if it's like no longer serving me.
Now, you want to know how you know she's a narcissist? Because you did not hear about any type of nurturing spirit that she presents in a situation at all. All she talked about was what she wanted, what she needed. And so people say, well, she learned from her mama. Okay, well, what did her mama get out the deal? You got this Negro with no prenup. You got his daughter to put your name on her kids and adopt them. So if you die, she gets your shit. Then, I mean, if you looking at it, you talking about a female with some game. What I said is she's a second generation gamer. Only thing is she don't have the wins as her mama, because her mom done been married a few times. Her mom understands how to reel them in. Lori don't have that. Lori is under Fairytale feminism. See, don't get it twisted. Her mama got game because her mama don't rock around knowing that feminism thing don't play. That ain't what's going to get you married. This is what'll get you dated. And at the end of the day, it's just going to be effed and forgot. You see what I'm saying? You don't want to set yourself to be in these positions because that's where this mentality leads. And y'all out here co-signing, yeah, that's right, she's right. No, she's not. Cold hustler, huh? You know what I mean? And shoot, think about this. What do we know about her mom? Here's another thing with y'all co-signing. Look at her mom. She's raised by her mom. Okay, her mom was with 2 drug dealers and got kids by 2 cousins. What we celebrating? What's the prize? Because here's one thing that any husband needs to know out of his wife is that he can trust her. Steve Harvey is no example of any type of nobody, no man looks up to no Steve Harvey except for probably somebody in his frat or somebody that works with him. But I mean, like Steve Harvey ain't got no posts in the streets, not that he even care. Like you seen what he told Monique, sometimes you just got to bow your head, bend, grin, and bear it. Yeah. Phantom Beach, she's a real Diablo player. And oh, there it is. D. Foster, Lori the Fun Girl. Bizam. Vincent Jackson said, what is this? What is I deserve talk? Man, I'm telling you. Bugina said, child, see the prize at the bottom of the Cracker Jack box. Oh, man. Blueberry Muffin said her mom wrote the book on scheming. Thank you. Good grief. So let me just go. I mean, I'm talking about, boy, this part right here, because people co-sign it. I'm like, I hope if you was one of the ones co-signing in my thread, I hope you hearing what I'm hearing now, because you probably overlooked it because what you got was emotionalized. You didn't actually listen to what she was saying. You reached for something in her that said, I can relate to her. I don't know why. But I think that is something to be examined on the personal end. Because truth be told, you don't want to relate yourself to this woman. This woman, let me break this one down to you. Although she is fine and dandy right now, this is the die alone. She might maybe get one marriage out of the deal before it's a wrap. Maybe. And so, right now, Steve Harvey is smart enough to make sure that she don't ruin her, because she ain't got no children, right? So Steve Harvey done made sure that she probably got the doctor on speed dial. But I mean, nonetheless, I can't say that. I wouldn't know. I can't say. But nonetheless, let's hear it.
Like I'm the prize. What does that mean?
It just means not compromising like my values, my happiness, my peace, not settling for less than what I know I deserve, and not being afraid to walk away from a situation if it's like no longer serving me.
Ooh, that part right there. Not being afraid to walk away from a situation when it's no longer serving her. Like a pregnancy. Whoops. So you got to listen to what people say, man. Don't start relating to her because she's young and she's pretty and people are hating on her. No. Evil comes in all ages, shapes, sizes, and forms. You better recognize it for what it is. That right there is a super evil perspective. You better be careful what you co-sign. Did you hear what she said? That is the blueprint of Satanism. It was all about self-worship. You got a prize in that. Man, how? Because again, if I ask the question, trust me, only answers that we're going to get and you're going to see, go to my Twitter feed. The only answer, I'm not going to put none of y'all on blast. So, if you want, go to my Twitter feed and look at some of the responses. It's like, no, this ain't no prize because she said she's won. She's not no prize because Steve Harvey simp ass said she's a prize while he's watching her gallivant with every other dude. Not to mention all of this straighten up and fly right madness. Where's the 90-day rule with her? What is it, 90 days and then hop on the next one? I mean, I'm just saying, everybody is watching her jump offism play out in real life. And you're so busy trying to co-sign whoring that y'all have fallen into a pit and a snare of absolute degeneracy, and to the point to where it's becoming reprobate, unless you can blame black men for it. Prime example, my last broadcast, talking about the old girl that blocked me, Dr. something. Like I said, notice all these females that come out with this overeducated, I'm a doctor madness, start going into over philosophizing real simple things like life and how a person is born and what the unit is that they were born with, the functioning innards of what's there. Now we have to go fool ourselves and lie to ourselves to make everybody feel feel comfortable, because if we just simply say this is 1, 2, 3, we are going to be offensive. This is a liar's world. Lori Harvey is full of crap. All she is a selfish little brat. And I guess too many of y'all wanted to be feeling like that spoiled little brat, because y'all actually tried to make sense out of that madness. Well, I could feel what she's saying. Are you kidding me? No, because here's the thing. There should be something as shame, etiquette. But see, when people, even a man, try to say, okay, well, let me hold down this situation with my woman, the Kiki Palmer. He gets lambasted publicly for trying to shame her. People talking about the Essence Fest and how what a mess that was. A damn twerk fest. You got Janelle Monáe, who came out wearing whole suits. Now she can't stop. Every time you see her, she's lifting her shirt up like it's Mardi Gras. Which I always often, I mean, my wife tests this. I've said this from day one about Janelle Monáe. She always has struck me as a child of an offspring of witches, because I do absolutely believe that. There are people who practice witchcraft. And again, I'm not saying everybody who practices this spirituality or that spirituality. No. That ain't what I'm saying. I'm saying these people are one specific order. So, I don't need people getting things misconstrued, because you know how that likes to happen. But nonetheless, I mean, Blueberry Muffin Twerk Fest 23. Yes, oh yeah, let's Cadence. And Bugina's absolutely right. The Bible said in the last days, men and women shall become lovers of themselves. And you heard nothing else. Man, from what she just said, is there room for her to love anyone else? Her mama, people that was with her, situation ends in tragedy. It's just something to ponder and not be upset about when it gets called out. Because for some reason, you know, people, they get so upset. But I mean, think, and don't get it twisted. They're trying to sell this. That's why it's saying, notice, no, I'm going to play it again. Watch.
Just remember that you're the prize always.
Say that one more time.
Just remember that you are the prize.
Yes.
And again.
Just remember that you're the prize always.
Say that one more time.
Just remember that you are the prize.
Yes.
That's like his golden slogan for me.
Yeah. And
yeah, no, not really what we call the prize. And like I said, what that actually is pushing a scenario to where if you bought into that philosophy, you're gonna die alone. It's the most selfish. Any man in his right mind with a man about some real business and some game. See, Steve Harvey is sold out to the order to which he's with. So you don't expect nothing out of no Negro like that. He's all about the money. And he ain't above whoring his daughter out like that because it's for an agenda. And so what are they pushing? This super fairy tale-istic mind that, hey, you could do it too. And so my response is that I see Lori Harvey just go with me real quick. Imagine Lori Harvey has one of these younger gentlemen callers in the early days, early phases, but they're not a rapper. They're not an entertainer. They're not tall. And you know, you get around when you're young or whatnot. Where's my camera? Hold on real quick. My camera is leaning for some reason. I don't know why that is looking like. How'd that happen? Hold on real quick. I have to fix this camera. But nonetheless, like I said, family, your her younger days, like imagine, well, I guess these days now, like there's probably somebody that's been looking at her wanting to get with her that she knows that she might never gave no play to, right? And so let's see if I can fix this here. So never getting no play, this dude now might have it together later in life, as the baby's daddies and the ex-husbands have just trailed off and disappeared. And then lo and behold, now this dude done got his weight up and got his money right. Got some clout. So it's once again kind of another opportunity to get back in front of the public. So, after about 20, 30 years, they come together again and he's still a simp. And, from her mother, she knows how to identify a mark. By that time, she's going to be well on her way to understanding anything in that realm is the last train smoking. Oh, look at these 3 kids over here. Because again, remember, like people say, oh, she learned from her mama. Oh, I'm sure she did. She ain't the only one out here. But I'm just saying. So imagine So many years later, they come together, and now she has got her security, her stability, her way back in front of people publicly, and got the financial security of a sucker who don't know no better. So not only is there no prenup, but then also he'll adopt her children to make sure they're taken care of if something goes wrong with him. Now, granted, all of these children belong to other men, but nonetheless, he gonna foot the bill. So I said that to say that just because a man has power, influence, and money does not prevent him from being a simp. And a mark is always gonna be a mark. See, the thing about a mark, though, when you're broke, you have no value. But when you have achieved some status, a little bit of fame, and some money, well, now you have value because now she knows exactly how to run the yard. And so she's finna get back up in your face some kind of way because that's what women do. And here's a good thing in a notion I grew up with knowing. You know something? Women don't be around you when they don't want to be around you. Now, if she didn't want to be around you before, what has changed in the element to where you got older, fatter, and grayer? That now makes us say, I want you. This is how I see Lori Harvey's future. You understand what I'm saying? Blueberry Muffin said definition of a simp. And I'm sure people be feeling some kind of way. Like, hey, wait, no, it's a simp. I mean, hell. Just like I said, things play out in the public view nowadays. So, yeah, sometimes we are witnessing real-time simping. Like, damn. So, thought pocket fun, give to the greedy, not the needy. Again, and they're trying to, like, this is a whole slogan. Notice, Lori is a used condom. Damn, Blueberry Muffin. and think of this. With how much people, I'm sure, y'all want to ride for her, don't. Just don't. Stop encouraging the nonsense. Because that's nonsense. And Steve Harvey ain't no damn relationship guru. He is a do-boy. He's a boule-do boy. Nothing more, nothing less. Yeah, he got his money. Yeah, he got power and influence in those circles. But can he do something independent of that order? Hell no. Hell no, he cannot. They'll get him out the paint lickety quick, lickety split. He'll be up here toe off like Jamie Foxx. I mean, no. I mean, granted, shout out to all of the sightings of Jamie Foxx. Anyway, I'm telling you, y'all better get off of this fairytale feminism thing, because fairytale feminism is not where it's at. And just like I played, or I read to you that woman from the other day. This is where the Western feminism has gotten you. It's reached this way from the Nigeria to America to Nigeria and back. Oh, goodness. Worldwide degeneracy. But we have people who I would never identify as black. Good. Because you ain't one of us anyway. Here she go again, though. Y'all want to participate in her romp? Oh, man. Now remember, just like that woman was talking about, you shouldn't identify as black. You should just identify as a woman. Never forget, for all you fairy tale feminists, this is what a woman is when they say woman. And look who ain't in the picture. It is not no black melanated sister at all. So here's the true order of the day of what feminism is. And y'all have to understand. Watch this. Let's see. Where is that at? Bear with me a second. This is it. Black feminism in a nutshell. Black Voltron Reloaded in the house. What is going on, my brother? Yes, sir. AKA Captain Saberho quote. We've got to feed and clothe them kids. I'll get you a cell phone and a pager in my name. We'll go down to Durant Square at Saturday 1 and get that package deal. Don't worry, baby. I got you. Woo-wee! Man, peace, power, blessings, and protection be up on you and yours, my brother Black Voltron. Ain't that the truth? Make that nigga take care of your kids. Make that nigga call your kids his. Make that nigga get out there and work. Make his ass buy you a Thuney and Burke. It's all part of that nigga take care of me. Pussy whip, nigga come save me. That just be out there on the lookout for Captain Saberhawk, because he's saving the hoes. Shout out to Steve Harvey. Woo-wee! And the doctor. Man, I'm telling you, boy, it's rough out here for a simp. Boy, that simp philosophy is falling by the wayside. Boy, ain't it? Woo-wee! I'm telling you, man, it's falling to the wayside quickly. Quickly, baby. And it's a good thing, man, because right now we have to tighten up the hatches, man, because we're moving into 2024. 2023 is over halfway through. Do you understand what is normally going on in presidential elections around this time? This is a disaster. They don't know what to freaking do. I mean, this is the summer before the summer of the actual election. So by this time next year, you know who's running for president on both parties, at least, and all the other parties. Ain't something supposed to be happening right now on the preliminary end? I guess the Republicans are starting to do some debates coming up. But, yeah, this is getting real interesting. And the Democrats said there will be no debate. While all the calls, over 70% of Democrats would prefer Joe Biden not to run again. And see, here's what's really the underlining tone, and just notice it, all the organizations or groups that are getting upset at, number one, affirmative action being taken down, and at the looming possibility of Joe Biden getting his ass ran out of town. Look at who's complaining, who's worried. We ain't. But there's a whole lot of, and you know what? Here's another thing too. Notice all the black folks that start popping up all of a sudden, concerned about what's happening. Like, oh, word, this bothers you? Okay, so how are you losing now?
Where's your family from?
I mean, just pay attention to all the black folks. Oh man, this is a travesty.
Where's your family from?
Just pay attention. Pay attention to who's concerned, because we ain't losing. I mean, this actually bolsters our claim of lineage policies. Just like when they were talking about colored, you seen Beatty hop out there real quick. Oh, no. I want that stricken. Why though? Because you really so concerned about us being offended, while you over here pandering to every Caribbean and immigrant you can. Not to mention this other line that they're pushing. Pride is patriotism. How? Because Tommy Tuberville telling you white nationalism is patriotism. Not only is that, but all white people must be white nationalists, because he's like, well, shoot, everybody think like this. That's just it's like he went straight off code. I hope everybody catches that. Like, he went straight off code. Well, shoot, everybody think like this. Now you have to come out and denounce the man, but you have to do it thoroughly. So at this point, it can be like, well, you can just assume every white politician not condemning Tommy Tuberville must agree. So we must need white nationalists around, and we need white nationalists in the military, and we understand where people in the military usually end up. They end up on police forces. So he's saying we want to start back up the battlefield to ghetto pipeline for the soldiers to become policemen and carry out their police days being a soldier in the hood. I mean, has that not been the formula? These people, man, wicked is all get out. Joyce Beatty is a member of Delta Sigma Theta. Makes total sense. Makes total sense. Still Kevin Trees in the house. What's going on, brother? I see you. What is going on? So, Marion said, Lord, no, with the braids, fairytale, feminist, pork chop, feminists, you do not represent us, nor speak for us. Yes, I know that's right. And, remember the woman I saw, because I didn't get a chance to catch it live. I was listening to Tariq's podcast early today. And, he touched on the same individual. And it's like, how do you have something that is owned by a black woman promoting buns and basketball? Here's the other thing that I mean, if you go down her timeline, there's no condemnation of the Essence Fest. But somehow rap music and hip hop is all responsible for women selling their bodies on OnlyFans. Because that Buns and Basketball League is on OnlyFans. Because I went to their Twitter page. I wanted to go to their website. They don't even have a doggone website. They have a link tree, and a link tree goes to everything else for pay. So that is a hustle that a sister invented and came up with. And so black women being entrepreneurs shaking their bouncing their buns with their basketballs. Oh man. But that's what they're doing. They're bouncing their buns with their basketballs. Buns and ball. Oh man. And again, you know, they over here acting like we're somebody hating. Lori Harvey is successful. How? She's a socialite. She is just there because her daddy is rich. And this is the other part of the hustle. Y'all over there saluting her mom for getting over on Steve Harvey. It's like, y'all really don't be understanding the shit y'all type. Y'all be co-signing some of the most gutter behavior. And don't see, again, a man worth his salt gonna be looking at you, be like, damn, that's a grimy broad. But she thick though. So yeah, they're gonna come pound on your monkey. The hell? You young, you got it tight and right. Yeah, they're gonna come wear your drawers out real quick. But ain't nobody keeping you around. Having a fat ass and a nice body is only gonna go so far. And that happens in the bedroom, not going down the aisle. And that's just real talk. You got to have a little more than that. Now, if you got that with some game and understand how to treat your man, because what I keep hearing from her, and I think this is probably the one thing that dudes is like, yeah, they liking, you know, the mystique of some new booty. But you ain't got staying power, sweetie. So staying power is what proves you are the prize. There's some women that come and never leave. So that man want her. That ain't happening with Lori Harvey. And she got men that could really do some big wifing things up. And she ain't it. From this one to that one, from that one to this one. Hell, even Cardi B's married. Understanding balance of the business. And see, that's Cardi B, an artist, working an angle as an artist. Not a selfish, self-centered little brat socialite that has not had to grind and make her. She hasn't earned her spot in the spotlight. It's given to her. And she belongs to somebody else, some other man. And so it's not even her father who pulls that off. It's the man that adopted her. And y'all look at us like, see, I'm sorry, you know, we don't co-sign absolute simpage. How could we? Are you kidding? Yeah, I would advise anyone, man, you must just hate children, man. You know, you don't want to sit over here and take, why do you just resent little black children? I don't understand why you resent black children so much. Yo. Not wanting to, and especially if you have other children, biological children, why would you be interrupting your children's inheritance for another man's business? Which is what Steve Harvey did. He incorporated a non-biological entity into his biological, like he has grown children. So for those who would be like, well, she's doing this, she's successful. No, she's not. She's built nothing. Like, what are you basing success on? Just the simple fact that you got money? That's a person that envies their oppressor talking. That is a person that envies their oppressor speaking. A person talking like that, you wish you was white. Now you might be over here in black spaces, but truth be told, somebody saying some stuff like that, oh yeah, there's some deeper underlying issues. I've never seen it before, so you ain't gonna be able to pass that off on me. I know what it looked like. Uh-oh. Deep down, you want to be white. Oh, hell no. Oh, man. Man, that's crazy. I ain't never seen, no, because see, they be stinking. And when they be getting wet, they be smelling like dog and stuff. Notice when you hear a person talking like that, they never speak about how they love being black. You would have to ask them or corner them on that position. That's the nature of those type of individuals. So be very careful. Like, just peep those little things in conversations. I would advise everybody that's listening right now and watching, start adopting the practice of intentional listening. You know, and sometimes you listen because you'll start adopting the habit of always listening. That way, because you want to hear what somebody's really saying. And there's a lot of trick bag language that people like to use. And that's why if you guys come around us in our spaces, what do we tell you we do? We let them talk. Because we want to hear what you got to say. So we'll let you roll for a little bit until we got the gist of it and you start talking in circles. Because some people come to a situation ready for the conflict and ready to be cut off when they say something. So truth be told, they were never prepared to finish out that initial point. Pull that rug right from under their ass and make them make it. Little game, little jewel and gem by Beatzilla given to you this evening. You understand me? So here's the thing. On fire. Oh, Lord. But yeah, y'all know, just make sure y'all check out all of these people who get out here talking this madness, man, you know, and because we're going to start hearing a lot more black men blame, you know, because it's like the whole, well, I mean, I don't know how black men, oh, that's right, I got one more thing to play. I don't know how black men don't see that they use black women and you know, exploit black women. There is not a platform. Truth be told, the only black foundational black man ran platform is the new black media. And we don't go over, we're the ones talking against the exploitation of black women. Outside of us, where is it? We don't promote degeneracy, so where is it? You know, people do that, like, man, I'm a black man. Okay, well, where? Where is that reflected? So I'm not going to play this video, but I am going to play all of this audio in its entirety, because, you know, just so people don't look at this. I'm sure people be watching the replay feeling some kind of way. Like, wait a minute, I relate to Lori Harvey. What is it that you are what about her and what she's saying resonates with you? About being selfish, or Is it about being selfish? Or is it about being self-centered? Or is it, again, about being selfish? Because that's all she said. Me, 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 me. Well, when you are a Captain Me-ism, not you're Captain Team Me, you're going to be Captain Team Me by yourself. Don't fall into those pitfalls and snares, because, again, y'all better just understand this is a battle that you are involved in, and you have no time to lose at all. So with that being said, let me play this audio here.
Rebellion against the leadership and the authority of the black man is the direct cause of the breakdown in our black family structure. Now, of course, there are many black people who consider those fighting words, because as black women, we have never been subject to the kind of examination that our men have been subject to since we have been here. We have been somewhat protected and shielded from any kind of critiquing about our personal behavior, whereas our men have always been up for examination. The book is not an attack on black women. I have never said that all black women do everything that I list in my book. None of us have lived long enough to do everything that I list in the book, but most of us do some of the things that I've listed in my book. And I do say that it is not because of generalizations that we are all victimized by some of the negative patterns of behavior in the book, but the book just represents our collective contribution. This is some of everything that we have done, or that we do daily, that contributes to the breakup of our relationship, the destruction of our man, and the failure of our children to be able to function. They did not tell us that all of that, being my own person and I'm independent, would lead to separation, loneliness, celibacy, and lesbianism. They didn't tell us that if you give up the man, you're going to take one of these things and it's worse and it will destroy your nation. They didn't give us that information. They made us think that it was some kind of glorified position to brag about the fact that I got my own job, my own credit card, my own car, so I don't need no man. I don't even know how we got that mixed up. Ain't none of that got nothing to do with being with no man. We have some serious relationship problems that nobody has been able to address us on, because everybody wants to pretend that this is not going on. Over 60% of our women are single, widowed, separated, or divorced. They don't have a man. I just came out of Florida, and they got a housing complex that the Urban League built, which is a black organization that is for women and children only. They say they don't allow any men in there.
Because they promote tearing up black families. That was part of Black Lives Matter whole agenda. Dismantling the nuclear family out of their own community. So we have to watch out for these type of individuals who want to come around us and start spewing things. And what's his face? Steve Harvey is using his daughter for business. This is to push and promote whatever agenda he's pushing. It's not really about much else. That is, the business of fake morals, backroom degeneracy. That's pretty much the basis of that. That's what goes on in that world. And so we could just take it with a grain of salt. If you don't, if you have a problem with what I said, you can most definitely leave a comment. If you're watching the replay, let me know your opinion. Let me know how you feel. If you feel like you agreed with her or felt with her and I'm a hater and I don't know what I'm talking about when I say that plays well in the dating arena, but it does not work in the marriage material situation. One of the biggest things that she just told you is she has an issue with commitment. Who needs a fun girl with commitment issues? That is no prize. That is no prize at all. All she could be is fun. She's relegated to the pretty, fancy, fun girl. And for those of y'all who think that there is something deeper there, no, it is not. That's why she couldn't keep the deep individuals. And she didn't make anybody because she's just a socialite. I guess y'all probably look at all the other socialites and say, well, you know, this is going back to the throwback of like the 90s, the Paris Hiltons and the Lionel Richie's adopted daughter, who is literally an Escovedo. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I mean, if you look at her, she absolutely looks just like her aunt. But I mean, I'm sure people probably just always wondered, hey, that's Lionel Richie's daughter. Why does she look just like Sheila E? Anyway, Babylon is fallen. Babylon is fallen. Let it fall and let us rise. Can you dig it? Yes, indeed. So yeah, like I said, for those of y'all who disagree with what I said, go ahead and leave a comment below if you're watching the replay. If we've heard all the other people, if you're hate watching, go ahead and leave a comment because you don't want to subscribe. You're upset that I just told you the truth. And I'm not just like this. You can't say, oh, you hate black women and all of this madness. You heard the great Queen Mother Shahrazad Ali, and she's telling you about a book she wrote years ago, and the powers that be rolled out the attack squad to attack this sister. You had sisters like her, Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. They both went on, was it Donahue, and got badgered, trying to prove their point, and held strong and steady. And they weren't promoting degeneracy. They were promoting class, dignity, elegance, humility, and respectfulness, which is something now, if somebody says you should demonstrate those things as part of our culture. See, here's the other thing. When they're trying to say you hate women, truth be told, that is a trying to hold on to ways to make our culture look bad. So you say, no, because no, you need to tighten that up and knock all of that off. Oh, you're trying to stifle me and this and that. You know what? This is our community, and there's things we don't do, and we ain't finna start doing them now. You understand what I'm saying? You wasn't doing everything in slavery. And that, see, here's anybody who gets this misconception about that time period. Like, oh man, I don't want to hear about that. Why not? Because the one thing your little weak ass needs to know is how in the worst conditions these people survived and maintained and didn't go crazy and didn't fall off and jump off a cliff in depression. Now, man, there were people that did. So how did they, seeing all of these other people fall and drop in the field, still make it to survive so your black ass is here today? You understand what I'm saying? These people are nuts. Nuts. Yeah, this is fairy tale feminism. And if you can't identify, because let me tell you, when the feminism in the field, women, men, and children are working in the field in hot summer heat waves like we're in right now, getting no love. Men and women, children as well, in those fields. Cynthia Newman, welcome. So don't ever come around us telling us no BS about where you, a black woman, need to just identify as a woman. Remember, like I always will say, when they say woman, this is what they mean. This is the woman that they speak of. Do not be confused. You understand? So, yeah, that's the woman. And when it comes down to the usefulness of a black woman for the sake of feminism, this is the role that black women are assigned in the structure of womanism or womanhood or feminism in this country. Don't try to be fancy. It's still the same thing. Don't let them trick you and say, no, this is different. No, it is not. This is how it ends. This is how it begins. This is how it ends again. At what point do you say, I'm better off with my man? Because at least I have a protector. There's no protection in this. You're being exploited and absolutely made to be permanently vulnerable. I hope you reevaluate the ideas and ideals that have been set before you that have proven not to be good for our community over the last 50 years. But there might be some that have an issue with what I say. Well, first off,
I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
And just understand, there will be people out there that have issues and say, well, I think that you're a hater and, you must hate black women. And, there's always some black man trying to tell black women how to run their life. Oh, Lord. And ladies, if there is something about what I'm saying that bothers you, understand I could not possibly know your personal situation. So that's not a me thing. Nah.
Own your stuff, little girl. Own it.
And don't be looking out for this, because it ain't coming here. Okay? So let's not do that. But for all intents and purposes, also understand that we have a lot of people like that other woman who's a tether. Black patriarchy, and it's come from hip-hop culture. Hey, listen here, tethers. Hashtag hands off our reparations.
You have no rights here. We're not under the empire.
Hey, fresh and fit. Keep your lips and your hands off of our reparations.
You have no rights here. We're not under the empire.
I'm just saying. Don't get caught out there trying to stick your hand in the cookie jar. Oh, I am just going to come. I am just going to come over here real quick, and I am going to be black. These Jareers that never know. Oh, these Jareers. Oh, if you see my Twitter, somebody's like, oh, the Jareers have found this post. Yeah, we found this one too. Because there's a Somali woman that just got her ass whooped for doing a TikTok video without her hijab on. And her Somalian man promptly went to land some Somalian domestic violence hands on her. And then she over here doing a video about how he done tore her ass up. And she looking all janky and jacked up. And, can't really put that on black men. I don't know how you're going to find that one because, remember, Somalians call themselves Caucasians. So, again, you're going to have to hold your own nuts because us over here, Jareers, we can't do nothing for you, man. Hashtag hands off our reparations.
You have no rights here. We're not under the empire.
And for those of y'all who think that it is more important to identify with your sexuality versus your actual identifiable group, hey, you're going to crash. So we have to understand we are under attack. And we are under attack from a great force and a strong one. You know, it has a great propaganda arm. And so paying some Negroes to get over here and start talking silly or promoting something such as, it's something subtle as talking about the prize. I'm the prize. You understand what you're putting in the situation? No humility. And you're talking about being in a relationship which requires some kind of compromise. All you heard her say was, if I don't feel comfortable, I'm comfortable walking away. That's not a person. See, there's something in your vows when you get married that says for better or for worse. She right there on the surface and already in action has demonstrated she has no sense of commitment. What prize can she possibly be after visibly, verbally demonstrating that she lacks the ability to understand commitment? While most women will be like, men don't ever want to commit. This woman is oblivious to the depths and the necessity of demonstrating she understands commitment if she would ever want to be a wife. And obviously the people who have co-signed what she's saying also have missed it as well. Well, sad to say that for those of you who believe that we should be honoring degenerate behavior and degenerate thought patterns such a selfish wave of thought, that whatever I want to do shall be done, that is also literally the moniker of Aleister Crowley, whose own mother called him the Beast. If y'all don't think y'all playing the devil's game, think again. So for those of us in intelligent Black society, me, beatzillapdx official, those of us here at the beatzillapdx official show and chat, the grassroots and the voices of new Black media, I could say that if y'all believe that the Boule crowd will be able to infiltrate the grassroots with such senseless, degenerate garbage and filth, think again. And this song is absolutely dedicated to those of you who believe that doing what a Steve Harvey has done and some others being fancy simps is not simping and not a detriment to our society. This song is for you.
Get up off of that cocaine and get up off of that crack.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Family, go ahead and like and share this broadcast. If you have not, please share this on your social media. Let folks know that they should come check this broadcast out. And, let's get this channel grown a little bit, And with that being said, it is the weekend. For those of you who are in the city of Portland, or neighboring towns and areas, if you would like to, we are going to be at Cathedral Park Sunday evening, closing out the show. As you see down there, we are the headliners. That would be the Junior Soul Masters of Funk. And so, come on out and check that out. We are doing the Pleasure Tribute. Pleasure Tribute being one of the most well-known Portland groups out of here. Had a hit back in 1979. And I've also recorded with them as well as some of the other members. I guess members and former members of Pleasure as well. So yeah, come on out and check that out. Cathedral Park, it's the longest running jazz festival in Oregon. So, that's how we do it. And, it's going to be fun. It's going to be hot. So we go on at about 7. So we'll be playing for a little over an hour. So come on out and come check it out. The slots, you can go to the website too. For, I think it's the Oregon Jazz Society is who's putting this on. But nonetheless, it's also a free music festival. So it is one of the very few festivals to where you could literally just pull up and they're playing right now. So this is one of the very few shows that you can just bring you got a beach blanket or towel. You can come out there and set up. They're not doing, they won't let you have like umbrellas, stuff like that. I don't think. I think you have like a personal shade umbrella, but nothing crazy. But nonetheless, y'all come on out if you are here. So with that being said, this has been the weekly wrap up. And thank y'all for tuning in once again. Shout out to all of you. Shout out to all of you. And y'all know how we do over here. We keep our smooth stones at the ready and the slingshot at our side. Because here we will always throw the stone of truth at a lie. Stay black. Stay vigilant. Stay alive. Oh, you know what, though? I totally forgot to give you this part. Make sure you follow me at Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. beatzillapdx. You can email me at ourrealtruth@gmail.com. And if you feel so inclined to put some money in the bucket by way of donation and you want to support this broadcast, you can do so at CashApp, $beatzillapdx. That's CashApp, $beatzillapdx. Also, we have PayPal, and that is Zilla Muzak. That is ZILLAMUZAK at PayPal. And with that being said, family, you have a blessed weekend. And stay safe, stay vigilant, always stay black, and stay alive. Black first, black first, black first. Shalom, y'all. Have a blessed weekend.
When you know who Satan is,
Yes, sir.
you don't have to kill him. No. The stone of truth.
Yeah.
See, that's what you throw.
Yes, right, right.
Allah says, had we wished to take a pastime from before, surely we would have done it. Nay, we cast truth at falsehood till we knock out its brains. Every one of you that knows the truth, stand up and tell it from the mountaintop. Black people can't take it no more. So wherever you are on the job, in the factory, I don't care where you are. If you know the truth, stand up on the truth and tell Satan, who the hell are you to try and pick my friends? Farrakhan is God's man, and you are from the enemy of God. So to hell with you. Stand up on it like a man.
Yeah.